give a little background what he did in World War II. He served in the 987th Signal Corps. He served in China. So this unit was special because it was the only Chinese unit in the United States Army. There were 9 other units, but they were with the United States Air Force. So he was the only unit. And there were only like 120 people in this unit. So it's very special in that respect. Then he served in southern China. I guess their purpose was to monitor the Indo-Chinese border. So they were stationed very close to Vietnam. So they're just like monitoring the Japanese in Vietnam. But nothing ever happened. So it was actually pretty safe to be there. He was like in the 120 people. They like broke up into like radio teams of 2 to 4 people. So they were like in charge of the communications to headquarters. So I guess the unit was like under the command of, the Army was under the command of General Stilwell. So there were like Chinese combat troops, but there were also some American troops that they served as trainees, or like training how to use weapons and advisory. But my father, he was part of the radio team. But it wasn't just regular radio communications. They had to encrypt and decrypt the messages. So it's something similar to what the Navajo Code Warriors did. The Navajo Code Talkers, they were with the Marines. So this was the U.S. Army. Then, so it's very safe. There was no combat casualties. It was very safe to be there. But the trip to go to China was very dangerous because he took like a Liberty ship from like Southern California all the way to India. So he was in a Liberty ship. He was like the ship was by itself. There was no escorts. So they just like went solo across the Pacific Ocean. Then the routes, they had to zigzag the route to avoid being hit by torpedoes for the Japanese submarines. And that was dangerous because I think 21 days before his ship, there was another ship that actually got torpedoed. So it was actually very dangerous. And after the ship got to India, they had to fly over the hump in the propeller planes and fly over the Himalayas. And that was very dangerous too. So I guess during the course of the war, they lost like 500 airplanes during flying over the hump. Then I guess after the war, I guess the memorable members from that 987th unit, there was one person, he was an actor. He was active, and there's this movie called Gen Stilwell. I don't know if you heard of it. It's a Wayne Wang movie. So he was the main actor. I guess it's famous for, it's known as being the first Asian American indie movie. Then there was another person, he was like a vice president in Caesar's Palace, the company. Later on, he ran a famous restaurant in Los Angeles, Chinatown, called TW Lew. Then, I guess for my father, he'll be famous for being known as the artist, because they would have reunions, and in the yearbooks, he would provide all the sketches. So people got to know him from being the artist. And that's about it.
Hey!